Bagh Bhairab temple, situated at the center of Kirtipur, is the most venerated, important and the oldest shrine in Kirtipur. It is regarded as the garden deity of the town. The god here is addressed by the people as Azudya, meaning God grandfather, Bhageswara, Bhimsen Bhattaraka and Bhimeswara as well. But generally this god is termed as Bagh Bhairab and is worshipped both by Hindu and Buddhists alike. Bagh Bhairab is believed to be an incarnation of Lord Shiva in the form of tiger. There are different avatars of Lord Bhairab and one can see him in the form of tiger only at Bagh Bhairab temple. The residents of Kirtipur believe that Bagh Bhairab protects the town. This is the only type of Bhairab molded in the form of a tiger and thus called Bagh Bhairab. The temple is one of the very few temples in Kathmandu Valley erected in a rectangular base. Most of the Bhimsen and Bhairab temples are raised in the rectangular base rather than in square base. To cite some examples, Bhimsen temples of Kathmandu, Patan and Bhaktapur are constructed in a similar way in rectangular base. Likewise, the Bhairab temples of Bhaktapur and Kirtipur are constructed in a rectangular forms, which shows that during the medieval period in Nepal, the Bhairab temples were usually built in rectangular base only, whereas Bhairabi temples are built in a square base. There is a belief among the people that the first rays of the sun must fall on the face of the god Bagh Bhairab. A small window, diapua, is thus provided in the eastern facade to get the first rays of the sun. The temple is situated in the courtyard surrounded by the shrines of different gods and goddesses. The main icon of the god Bagh Bhairab is of clay and the face is covered by a silver mask offered during the reign of Chandra Samsir by a local citizen, Chaturam Dware, in 19th century. Being made of clay, the image is often destroyed by the rats and other natural phenomena also. There are many references of destruction of the image in Bhasa Vangsavali. Once the image is disfigured, it is retouched and replaced by the Buddhist priest Vajracharya in an esoteric way. For molding the image, the clay have to be collected from the 7 points around Maipi, a tantric shrine on the way to Balaju from Paknajol. The process repeats once in almost every 20 to 30 years. Although the god is worshipped with panchamakars, that are Matsya, Mudra, Mamsa, Madhya and Maithuna, no sacrifice is offered inside. For the purpose of sacrifice, there is a small shrine, Hifadya or sacrificing altar, just outside the trellis window beside the main image. Although no specific evidence has been found regarding the origin of Bagh Bhairab, according to mythological folklore, in ancient time there was a forest where the present temple is. According to the legend, this area, which was a dense forest where the temple is now, was the cattle grazing place of the herdsmen of the northern settlement. According to the myth, once upon a time, few shepherd girls from Kirtipur were grazing the sheep in the local jungle, Ga, on the northern slope of Kirtipur. As practiced every day while the sheep were grazing, the girls were engaged on a play, this time molding a tiger figure on the clay. When the figure of the tiger was ready, they went in search of a suitable leaf to make the tongue of the tiger. But to their great surprise, when they returned with the leaf, their sheep were missing. So they wailed and cried as they did not find the sheep and went on asking with all nearby. But no one could locate the sheep. Finally, they decided that the sheep could have been eaten by the clay tiger and asked him whether he did eat them. The clay tiger in response opened his mouth wide and the gods found it full of blood. Naturally, they got furious and as a punishment did not fix a tongue in his mouth. Therefore, the image of Bagh Bhairab has no tongue and keeps its mouth wide open all the time. It is said that he is asking someone to provide a tongue in his mouth. According to another legend, the temple was established after a local tantric prayed to Bhairab on behalf of a group of shepherds who had to suffer much due to the presence of tiger in that area. People had to live in fear because one tiger had caused suffering by eating animals such as sheep, buffaloes, goats and many others. When the people inquired the situation to one tantric, the tantric said that it happened because Lord Bhairab entered the body of a clay tiger, creating such suffering and terror. Now, in order to calm the tiger, every year on Singha Sangranti, that is 1st of Bhadra, people have to sacrifice sheep goats and buffaloes and perform a pilgrimage to Bagh Bhairab. It is said that since that time, the temple of Bagh Bhairab has been built and the pilgrimage has been conducted. There is a popular belief that the idol of Bagh Bhairab in Kirtipur does not have a tongue because of the fact that the idol did not have tongue when it was created. Bagh Bhairab temple was built by King Sivadev of Lichavi period in Nepal Sambat 219 to 246. Kirtipur was named after the same king who established his reputation by building canals, ponds, stones, streams, etc. Bagh Bhairab temple is a medieval temple located in the center of Kirtipur city. Although it is believed to have been established by Sivadev in the 11th century, the first written evidence related to this temple is found in 635 Nepal Sambat, that is, it is a record with the details of Jagatpal Verma related to its construction in the year 1515 AD. On the lack of historical evidence, we now cannot be sure of any idea about the temple after its foundation until the year 635 Nepal Sambat or 1515 AD, when first detailed record of the temple restoration was done by Jagatpal Verma, a Mahapatra of Pimbahal from Patan. The inscription says, "Held on an auspicious moment of Purnavasu Nakshatra, the fourth day of the dark fortnight, Monday of the month of Kartik, 635 Nepal Sambat, when the sun is in Briha Rasi and the moon is in Karkat Rasi. On this day, the temple of Vagyaswara renovated. Sacrifice has been performed according to the mantras of Veda. On this day, the light Khoya Mata was lit in front of Pinda Vahara. Following day, there was a procession of a religious flag, Chhatra Yatra, through 3 cities and lastly came to Kirtipur. Next day, went to Patan and there was a yagya performed which lasted throughout the night. Following day, all the activities came to an end. Yajaman, or the chief performer, was Jagatpal Verma, Mahapatra of Pinda Bahar in Maningala, Patan, and his wife Rupa Lakshmi. Thakurni, his son Rakshapala Verma, and his wife Hera Lakshmi Thakurni, and his son and his wife Amrit Lakshmi Thakurni. Those who were present there should share the fruits of this pious deeds. Priests are Sri Jitadev and Madhavaju, who perform all those sacrifices according to the rituals laid down in the Vedas. With those deeds, all beings of the world should share in equal the fruits of the pious deeds. The offering of the golden colors was made in 707 Nepal Sambat or 1587 AD, followed by another offering of Muhurmala in 782 Nepal Sambat. In the year 811 Nepal Sambat or 1691 AD, there were a series of offerings made to the temple. For example, the bell on the right side of Yifadya or sacrificing altar, a golden toruna was offered and a guti of the Mahadeepa was instituted by Kothanayaka Jake Singh Bharo in 814 Nepal Sambat or 1694 AD, which is still continuing, and on the day of Singha Sangranti, Bhadra 1st, Mahadev is lit around the temple throughout the night every year. Again, in 817 Nepal Sambat or 1697 AD, a timpanum was donated. The main entrance was covered with copper set plated with gold in the year 823 Nepal Sambat or 1703 AD, and a small chakra was fixed on the wall. 2 main stone figures of Hanuman were erected in the year 837 Nepal Sambat or 1717 AD. They are still standing on both sides of the Hifadya. The temple was again renovated in 923 Nepal Sambat by Jaifal, the son of Hastika, who paid her breast to King Rana Bahadur Saha. The inscription on the bell to the east of main entrance inform us that the bell was installed there by Manandhar Jogman and it weighs 31 dharnis or 70.5 kgs. And it was molded by businessman Vidyadhana of Naudwa, Bahal and Patan. Since one of the supporting pillars between the trellis windows on the second floor gives the date of 974 Nepal Sambat or 1854 AD, the temple could have been renovated that year also. A golden flag on the right of the main entrance was added to the temple in 1022 Nepal Sambat or 1902 AD, followed by the covering of the main lions with metal seat coated with gold in 1041 Nepal Sambat or 1921 AD. In 1056 Nepal Sambat, there was a major decoration of the temple. This time, a local citizen, Santavir Bhava of Muantol, covered the whole area on the ground floor in front of the god and all four sides of the wall as well with brass seats. The total of 325 dharnis or 737.7 kgs of brass was used to do this job. The door was again covered with copper sets, and another gold flag at the left of the main entrance was offered in the year 1084 Nepal Sambat or 1964 AD, followed by the renovation that was carried out by the Guti Sanstan in the year 2024 Bikram Sambat or 1967 AD. Bagh Bhairab Jatra is held in this temple every year on Singha Sangranti, 1st Vadra. There is a tradition of chariot festival. On the occasion of the festival, 360 loaves of bread are offered to the tiger Bhairab idol and tantric puja is performed. It is believed that if you circumambulate the temple 108 times, your heart's desire will be fulfilled. The weapons hanging outside the temple belong to Gorkhali. Bagh Bhairab temple features the swords used by King of Gorkha, later King of Nepal, Prithvinarayan Shah's army during the Battle of Kirtipur. It is believed that due to the influence of the power of this Bagh Bhairab, in 884 Nepal Sambat, the King of Gorkha, Prithvinarayan Shah, was defeated by Kirtipur's army 3 times in the history. Gorkhali attacked Kirtipur several times, of which 3 attacks were the important. In the first attack, Nepal Sambat 880, the Gorkhali army was defeated, in which Gorkhali commander Kalu Pandey was killed. In the second attack, Nepal Sambat 884, Sur Pratap Saha, brother of Prithvinarayan Shah, lost his eye. Kirtipur's army looted the weapons, seals and helmets hanging in the temple from those Gorkhalis. The helmet hanging in the middle of the temple belongs to Kalu Pandey. Kalu Pandey's seal, sword and clothes were kept in this Bagh Bhairab temple. According to folklore, Kirti Lakshmi Singh was a daughter of commander of Kirtipur. For the first time, the shameful defeat of Gorkhali took place under the leadership of Kirti Lakshmi. Although it is claimed that the weapons looted by her leadership are the weapons hung in Bagh Bhairab temple, it is not confirmed whether Kirti Lakshmi is a real character or a fiction. Later, those materials were kept for display in the National Museum of Nepal. Bagh Bhairab is also considered as a witness deity who witnessed the misdeeds of Gorkha King Prithvinarayan Shah. It is said that when one soldier of Kirtipur tried to kill Prithvinarayan Shah in battle, another soldier stopped him as according to the rules of war, only the king can kill the king. It is said that Prithvinarayan Shah was sent back from Thankot by a Khargi and Putwar Newar from the place where the war was taking place. Prithvinarayan Shah attacked Kirtipur in 814 Bikram Sambat, 1821 Bikram Sambat and 1822 Bikram Sambat, and then only Kirtipur was conquered. However, in revenge for such a quality, Prithvinarayan Shah again attacked and killed Kazi Ganapraja Malla and Kazi's daughter Kirti Lakshmi, then cut off the nose of the unarmed people of Kirtipur and buried 12 Dharni's nose. The Gorkhalis were enraged by the sense of revenge that Kirtipur had to exert more effort than conquering other kingdoms and suffered heavy losses. Prithvinarayan's courtier Pandit Lalit Vallabh in the poem Prithvendra Varnodaya, written in 1827 BS, there is a mention of cutting off the noses of some opponents at Kirtipur while praising the king Prithvinarayan Shah. Apart from this, there is a description of cutting off the noses of common people above 12 years of age in Kirtipur in Vasa Bangsawali, Rajbog Bangsawali, etc. Because King Prithvinarayan Shah cut off the noses of the common people against the religion of a war and buried them, even now, remembering the misdeeds of Prithvinarayan Shah, Kirtipur's people spit as soon as they reach one place called Chakalo. Chakalo is considered by the local people as spitting stone. After Prithvinarayan Shah conquered Kantipur, he started living in Basantapur Palace. Shah's palace was visible from Chakalo. Prithvinarayan Shah had already conquered Kirtipur at that time, but he was unable to win the hearts of Kirtipur residents. Therefore, the anger of the people of Kirtipur on Prithvinarayan Shah was still there. But there was no way that Kirtipur could directly harm the Saha who was ruling from Kathmandu Valley along with Kirtipur. That's why people of Kirtipur started spitting the stone as Prithvinarayan Saha in Basantapur as he was seen from that stone. Some people have also speculated that Kalu Pandey, the Qazi of the Gorkhali army, had been caught on that piece of stone. So people of Kirtipur started spitting on that stone, assuming it to be Kalu Pandey. According to the Newari tradition, people who have died before time will be a ghost. According to the locals, it is ghosts that cause people suffering. Kalu Pandey had given grief to Kirtipur residents. That's why the people of Kirtipur said that the place where Kalu Pandey was caught is haunted. This was a form of opposition to the then government, which has become more like a culture lately. King Prithvinarayan Saha placed Kshetri Thapa in Tinthana, Mogar in Balkhu, Mogar Thapa in Chobar, Basnit in Batkepati. Kirtipur was controlled by keeping strong men around it. Later, 1,000 Ropani land was allocated for Kirtipur residents. Kirtipur's people who helped to win the war were placed in those lands. For those who were involved in the war, uncultivated land was given. He arranged in a way that a person should buy that land for 2 rupees per Ropani. Thank you.